guys, welcome back to the People in Progress podcast, where we talk all things lifestyle, self-improvement, and how to live your best life. I'm Elsa, I'm your host, and this episode is all about life hacks for the new year. We're going to talk all about tips and tricks and everything like that to make your new year the best one yet. And this is episode 3 in my New Year's mini series. These are shorter mini episodes, and I'm releasing, I think it's 5 in the first 3 weeks of January. So like I said, this is episode 3. If you want to check out episode 1, that's my cozy girl guide to the New Year's season. Then we have episode 2, which is a goal setting workshop, a really quick, efficient, succinct episode on how to goal set and the key things you need to set the best goals for 2024. And just a reminder, you don't have to listen to all of the episodes, so if you're starting with episode 3, that's totally fine. And if you do want to listen to them all, which obviously you should if you want to have the best New Year's yet in 2024, you also don't have to listen to them in order. So feel free to start with this episode, and let's get into it. So first of all, what is a life hack? I'm defining life hack as a technique used to save time, to make life better, or to be more efficient. These are all things that are going to make your daily life better. It's going to make it easier to achieve your goals, and just little tips and tricks for the New Year's season. So let's dive into tip number 1, which is make a vision board. The best motivation, in my opinion, is inspiration, and a vision board is a great way to do that. A vision board is a vision of where you want to be in life, or if you're making one for 2024, maybe where you want to be at the end of the year. By making a vision board, you are picturing yourself in the position of achieving your goals and being where you want to be. And this will keep you going on your journey towards your goals. It will keep you motivated and, like I said, inspired. This is such a great manifestation practice for the new year, and it will help all your wildest dreams come true, I promise, and it will help you achieve your goals this year. I have a whole entire episode on this. I'm just going to get the episode number up for you guys. It was one of the first episodes I did. It was episode number 3, and it is really good. I will link that down below. The episode on the podcast is about the science and the psychology behind vision boards and why they actually work and how to make vision boards that work for you. And then the YouTube video is sort of like an in-depth guide on how I vision board and how I think you guys can make really, really good vision boards. So I will link both of those down below, but if you haven't tried vision boarding or even any sort of manifestation, you definitely should. It is all just about being in a positive mindset. There is absolutely no harm done. Positivity and gratitude and being inspired is just all this kind of stuff, and it is always really good. It puts you in a positive abundance mindset that will help you achieve your goals. And if you're a bit hesitant about it, if you're a bit skeptical, then I just say, like, what's the harm in trying? The worst that can happen is it doesn't work and you're still, doing something fun. But trust me, listen to my other episodes, check out all that stuff. I might leave some links down below. You should definitely try it out because I truly think it works. So your productivity and, like I said, your life in general will be so much better if you prioritize your sleep, because sleep is so important. You will be so surprised on how much this changes your life. It is the key to recharging properly at night, and you can't show up fully if you are not fully recharged. So you need to have time to relax and unwind, and sleeping well is the best way to do this. And I personally know I can tell such a big difference if I don't get a good night's sleep, if I don't sleep enough. And then even this Christmas, this holiday season, I've been really focusing on going to sleep earlier, and it is making such a difference. I feel so much better in the mornings. But if you don't prioritize your sleep, you can be sleep deprived, and that can lead to a bunch of issues like mood swings, delayed reactions, memory issues, and increased risk of medical issues as well. So how do you actually prioritize your sleep? Because trust me, I've included this as a life hack because it is the one simple thing you can do to actually make you feel so much better, so much more motivated and inspired and just happy. So you can do this by going to bed, first of all, at a similar time every night. I'm really working on this, and I'm trying to go to sleep earlier, and this is hard for me because I love to read before bed, and if I'm reading a really good book, often I'll stay up a bit later, but it is something we should all prioritize. You should also limit blue light before bed. So that is screens, computers, phones. They all emit blue light, and that sort of interrupts your sleep cycle. This is because, like I said, it imitates daylight, and it is one of the triggers of our circadian rhythm, which is all about your sleep cycle and everything like that. So what I like to do when I'm reading before bed is, instead of having like a bright lamp on, first of all, if you do have a lamp, a nice warm toned lamp, like I have beside me, if you're watching video, is really good. Or I use an LED light and I read with a red light on, and I found it makes me sleep so much quicker. I'm not like laying in bed awake. Something else that I think really helps, and if you're a bit of an overthinker, I think this will really help as well, and that is just to write a to-do list or a brain dump if you can't get to bed. So if I'm thinking about everything I have to do tomorrow, or things pop into my mind, I simply just grab my phone, write it all in a notes app page, or if I'm really worried, I'll set an alarm for like 10 a.m. which says like check notes. But getting things out of your head and pen onto paper. Like I said, I use my phone, but if you have paper, that's even better. It just helps you stop overthinking and remember that you'll remember them in the morning, and you don't need to think about it right now. You don't need to worry about things you cannot do in the moment and cannot control. And then the last tip I got from reading some articles on sleep hygiene is to think cave when you're trying to make yourself sleep really well. So caves are cool, dark and quiet. So if you're trying to make the best sleep environment, focus on those three things. So it being cold. In the summer, I like to sleep with aircon on. I can kind of get away without having aircon during the day, but I have to sleep in a cold environment. I sleep so much better. And in the winter, obviously I don't really need aircon, but I tend not to sleep with the heating on either. Dark should be pretty easy, obviously, if you're sleeping at night. But if you live in a city like I did, it might be worth investing in blackout curtains or something like that, which we invested in for our basement because we have a projector down there and we can literally watch movies down there at any time because they work so well. So you can get some really cheap ones on Amazon. You should definitely check that out. And then quiet, obviously just try keep noise to a minimum around you if you can. I know it's difficult, but these things will really help with your sleep. Okay, tip number 3 is to limit decision paralysis. So planning ahead saves you so much time. This means you're not going to waste time during your day trying to figure out what to do. And like I said, if you're a bit of an overthinker like me, this can really, really help. So some ways you can do this is, for example, through meal planning or meal prepping. I find when I've got a lot on my to-do list, if I'm worrying about lunch and dinner, that is just not helpful. And I spend so much time trying to figure out what I want and whatever. It just is such a waste of time. And not only does this save you so much time, I also think it saves you a lot of money and it makes you more organized and just in general more relaxed. I have an episode all about meal planning. I'll actually find the episode number for you guys if you want to check that out. It is episode 4 and I talk all about why meal planning is really good and how I do it and some tips and tricks and ideas and whatever. But like I said, writing a to-do list, and if you're really busy, writing a prioritized to-do list can be really, really helpful. So I tend to do my to-do list in my bullet journal. So usually I can just make my way through my to-do list, but if it's a super busy day, what I'll do is I'll number them. Once I've done task number 1, I don't need to think. I just move on to task number 2, 3, so on. Or sometimes I've been into time blocking on Google Cal, which is really good because I don't have to think. Once it hits a certain time, I just move on to the next task or the next thing. This can also really help so I don't miss things like lunch if I'm really busy, and like I said, it just helps with not being frozen and figuring out what to do, which is decision paralysis, and it can really hold you back. Another thing you can do to limit decision paralysis is to get rid of clutter, because clutter and all the unnecessary things around you are holding you back and make it harder to do things. So I don't do all of these. I'm definitely not a minimalist, although I do really like the ideas of minimalism. Some things you can do is capsule wardrobes, not thinking about what you have to wear, you just know all your pieces go together, or investing in things you love that make your life easier. A good clean, getting rid of stuff that you don't need or that is cluttering up your cupboards or your life is really good. Like I said, I'm definitely not a strict minimalist, but I have got better over the past years of decluttering, and it does make your life so much better, trust me. Basically, you don't need 10 things that almost work, you need one thing that does, and that's kind of the mindset I've been going with recently. Being a little bit more strict with what you buy and what you get rid of can really help with decision paralysis and clutter. Okay, the 4th tip and trick and life hack is to eat the frog. This is a productivity theory in which you basically do the hardest thing on your to-do list first. And I talk about this a lot and I need to hear it because my boyfriend read a book. I forget the exact name. It might be Eat the Frog, but he was telling me about this. And I don't always do it, but whenever I do, I feel so much better. So basically what you do is you write out your to-do list. Like I've mentioned, to-do lists are so helpful, and you find the thing that scares you most and you do that immediately. And this is really good because the things that scare you most probably aren't as hard or as time consuming or as scary as you think they are, and they're so much better once you've done them. And every time you do the scarier thing first, it's worth remembering for next time that it's not as bad as it seems, because then next time when it comes up, for example, for me it's emails. I'm always terrified by answering my emails, especially because obviously if I've been on holiday or it's a weekend, the number builds up and it sounds scary, but every time I do it I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad and that actually didn't take up too much time. So eating the frog just makes you feel so much better, not only in the moment but also in the long run. But here's the thing, if it is as hard and as scary and as time consuming as you think it is, in the worst case situation by eating the frog is that it's done, it's over with and it's done first and you don't have to worry about it. And then you just have the rest of your day to get on with the other tasks that aren't as bad. Okay, my 5th and final life hack for having the best New Year's yet is to find your personal reset button. Okay, say you're in a midday funk, or your brain is just feeling foggy and you can't focus on things and you feel bored with everything and you just can't pick a task, you can't find anything that makes you happy or is interesting. I'm sure we all know being in this kind of mental state. Be reflective and figure out the things that get you out of this, because there will be something that does. So this really helps because obviously we all get in this kind of feeling, and if you've been doing a tedious task that makes you feel this kind of way, you need to find something that will help you feel better, and you don't want to just dwell in that mental state. For me, I love walking outside. I love being in particularly the cold air. It just resets my brain, and I've really discovered that just something about the cold and the outdoors makes me focus and makes me feel so inspired and so much better, and my brain just feels so much more alert and on, and just everything is better after I've been outside for a moment. And it won't be the same for you. It might be, that's great if it is, easy, we found your reset button, but it won't necessarily be. So you need to find what it is for you. So first of all, have a think, maybe do some research on productive breaks, think about what makes you feel better, do some journaling and try out some different things. Go on a walk if you're feeling like you're in a bit of a brain mush, maybe read a book if you've been doing a really tedious task, going outside, making a cup of tea, tidying something up, having a shower. Try all these things, be reflective, and try find what makes you feel resetted and just a little bit better. And then once you put in this work in the new year, you can use this as a little life hack, because if you're just feeling mushy and foggy and whatever, I'm sure you guys know the like mindset I'm talking about, then you already know what your personal reset button is later in the new year, and you can use it. You can go on a walk like I do and reset your body and your brain a little bit, and you will feel so much better. Okay, that is all my life hacks, tips and tricks in the New Year's season. Like I said, this is part of my New Year's mini-series, so we're going to have more episodes coming out, so follow the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on, and stay tuned to see the next episode of the New Year's series. Let me have a look what that is for you guys so you can get excited. So next episode is going to be on how to achieve and track your goals, so follow to see that, and I can't wait to see you guys next time.